Welcome to the Explainer. If it feels like the window for those massive generational gains in AI has already snapped shut, it might be time to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Because honestly, the real game is literally just getting started. We're seeing institutional billionaires quietly positioning themselves right now. And what we're going to uncover today is how you can completely flip your perspective to see exactly what Wall Street isn't telling you. $800 billion. Let that sink in for a second. That is the sheer mind-boggling scale of the capital moving through the market right now. And to be clear, this isn't some loose projection for a decade down the line. This is an active, real-time flood of cash. We're looking at what is arguably the single largest and fastest transfer of wealth in modern history. But here's the absolutely crucial point. You have to understand exactly where this staggering wave of cash is landing. Because if you don't track the final destination of that $800 billion, you're practically guaranteed to miss out on the biggest wealth-building cycle of our generation.
Part 1. The Wall Street Noise. Before we go tracking all that money, let's just acknowledge the reality of what it actually feels like trying to navigate this market right now.
Right now, the market is just this wild maze of dense Wall Street jargon, massive 100-page PDF reports, and endless meme stock hype. You log online or turn on the financial news, and bam, you are immediately bombarded with conflicting expert opinions. It totally feels like the smart money is just making moves behind closed doors in private boardrooms, while the rest of us are left out in the cold guessing. It's exhausting, right? Trying to sift through what's a genuine signal and what's just overpriced noise.
There's a quote that perfectly captures this feeling. Trying to invest in this market right now feels like standing in front of a fire hose of information. And yeah, that leaves most people utterly paralyzed. I mean, you want to make a move. You know there's a historic opportunity in AI, but you're absolutely terrified of buying at the top of a hype cycle. Look, I completely validate that fear. So let's turn off that fire hose for a minute and gain a totally new perspective. Part 2. The New Gold Rush. Let's talk about flipping the script. If we want to find the real financial winners of this massive boom, we actually have to stop looking at the software. Seriously, stop staring at ChatGPT. Stop obsessing over the latest flashy AI apps on your phone. This $800 billion explosion, it isn't just about lines of code or some cool new user interface. It is fundamentally about the physical world. Think back for a second to the 1849 gold rush. The most reliable fortunes back then weren't actually made by the guys panning in the dirt. Nope, they were made by the people selling the picks, the shovels, and the blue jeans. And today, in our modern AI rush, that exact same principle applies. The biggest winners of this race aren't necessarily the highly publicized tech giants fighting for the best software. The real winners are the hidden, quiet suppliers underneath who are powering the whole shebang. Today's shovels are massive concrete data centers, high-voltage energy grids, heavy-duty cooling systems, and specialized physical hardware. Part 3. Follow the money. This is our ultimate truth detector. So how do we actually identify these hidden suppliers with confidence without getting all caught up in the media spin? Well, this is where capital expenditure, or CapEx, becomes our roadmap. Now, don't let the Wall Street jargon scare you off. We don't need to treat it like some boring accounting term. Think of it as a literal, legally documented shopping list of exactly what these companies are buying to build their future. Because here's the thing, marketing can lie. A company can put on incredibly flashy presentations, they can drum up massive media hype about their grand new AI vision, but they absolutely cannot hide where they are spending billions of dollars of cold, hard cash. When that amount of capital moves into a specific sector, it creates this undeniable financial gravity. You don't need to guess who's going to win the AI software wars. You just need to look at who is actually cashing the checks to build the physical machine. Get this, just 5 major tech giants, we're talking companies like Microsoft, Meta, Google, and Amazon, are on track to spend that huge $800 billion in cash we talked about at the very beginning. And guess what? They aren't just spending it all on software engineers. They are spending it specifically on the physical foundation and infrastructure required to even make AI possible in the first place. That cash is legally documented, and it's flowing right now into industrial factories, copper pipes, and power plants. Part 4. The takeaway. Let's talk about your information edge. Listen, you don't need to parse through 100-page filings or spend 12 hours a day staring at complex charts to actually succeed in this market. The real demand is bottlenecked at 3 physical pillars. Number 1, concrete data centers, literally the physical buildings housing the servers. Number 2, high-voltage energy grids, because of the incredible amount of power required to keep these systems running. And number 3, specialized hardware, which includes all the heavy-duty cooling systems and specific parts required inside those centers. Basically, that is the modern shopping list.
By simply understanding that this massive, historic wave of real-world capital is bypassing the software and flowing directly into physical infrastructure, you immediately gain an incredible strategic advantage. Honestly, you now know more than 90% of retail investors out there. You're no longer standing in front of that overwhelming fire hose of noise. Instead, you're standing right at the source of the river.
Which leaves us with one final thought to close out this explainer. That undeniable financial gravity we talked about, it is pulling $800 billion straight into the ground floor of the AI revolution. The legally documented cash is already moving. So the question you really have to ask yourself today is this. Are you going to keep chasing the crowded, overpriced AI software hype along with the rest of the herd? Or are you ready to follow the money and start investing in the shovels?